everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you my TBR for the Magical Readathon. So the Magical Readathon is hosted by G from Book Roast, and I'll leave her channel and her announcement video linked in the description below. Seriously, you need to go watch the announcement video if you want to take part in this readathon because there's a lot of information in that video. G has basically created her own magical world, and we're all setting off to head to, I believe, the school in that world, and we're all novices, and there are a bunch of prompts that are along the path we will be traveling as novices. I believe you only need to complete 2 of them, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so seriously, if you're interested, go check out G's announcement video. All of the information is in that video or in her description. I'm going to try to complete all the prompts, and along with that, you get to create like a character that you will be portraying in this magical world, and there are certain prompts you have to do for kind of your backstory and your race and stuff. Again, it's a bit complicated to explain, which is why I suggest if you're at all curious, go check out G's announcement video. So I'm going to start with the prompts that kind of design your character, and then I will go into the prompts for the novice path. So first up, I picked Wildling, and for this you need to read a book that is set outside or in a forest. And for this, I'm going to be reading Crowfeather's Trial by Aaron Hunter. If you're new to my channel, I've been doing a reread of the Warriors series this year, and Warriors follows groups of forest cats who live in clans and have to try to coexist. Obviously, because these are forest cats, they live outside, so the entire book will be set outside because they're essentially clans of feral cats. So I can't say that Crowfeather was my favorite character in the series, but I am looking forward to spending some time with him and seeing if this book gives me a different perspective on Crowfeather and maybe not makes me like him more, but makes me have a better understanding of him. Next up, I chose Eartharia. I hope I'm coming close to pronouncing that correctly. And for this, I need to read a book that features Fae or Elven characters. And for this, I'm going to be reading 7 Black Diamonds by Melissa Marr. The main character in this book is half human and half fae, and a war has been raging between humans and fairies, and the ruler of the Fae courts wants to avenge the tragic death of her heir, a death that was the fault of reckless humans. So I'm going to assume we're going to be seeing lots of fae in this book, especially considering our main character is half fae. It was also the only book off the top of my head I knew I had on my physical TBR that had fae or elven characters in it, so I decided to just go with it, and we'll give it a try. Next up, I chose Earthling, and for this I need to read a book that has elemental magic in it, or an element word in the book or series title, which would be air, fire, earth, or water. And for this, I'm going to be reading A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. The word earth is in the title, so that fulfills the prompt. Goodreads says, Ged, the greatest sorcerer in all Earthsea, was called Sparrowhawk in his reckless youth. Hungry for power and knowledge, Sparrowhawk tampered with long-held secrets and loosed a terrible shadow upon the world. This is the tale of his testing, how he mastered the mighty words of power, tamed an ancient dragon, and crossed death's threshold to restore the balance. I do not believe there is going to be any elemental magic in it, but since the word earth is in the title, it'll fulfill the prompt. Now on to the prompts for the path to the school. First up is the novice path entrance, and for this you have to read a book with a map. For me, I'll be reading Goldilocks, Wanted Dead or Alive by Chris Colfer. As you can see, there is a map of the kingdoms in the beginning of the book. This is part of Chris Colfer's Land of Story series, and it is a graphic novel where we'll be spending more time with Goldilocks. I have loved Chris's Land of Series stories, so I am looking forward to getting to spend some time with Goldilocks in this one. Next is Ashtoren Tree, and for this you need to read a book that keeps tempting you, or a book that's at the top of your TBR pile. And for this I'm going to be reading The Edge of the Ocean by L.D. Lipinski. This is the second book in the Strange Worlds Travel Agency series. I read the first book and absolutely loved it. We're following a girl named Flick who has moved to a new town and ends up coming across a store in her new town that contains suitcases that lead her to other worlds. I absolutely loved the magic and the worlds we got to see in the first book, and I'm looking forward to getting to spend more time with Flick and her friends and seeing what new worlds she travels to in book 2, so this is definitely top of my TBR. The next prompt is The Mist of Solitude, and for this you need to read a standalone. And for this I'm going to read All Standing, the Remarkable Story of the Jeannie Johnston, the Legendary Irish Famine Ship by Catherine Miles. This is a nonfiction book that looks at the Jeannie Johnston, which is the only ship that managed to survive the Irish famine. And I am very curious to find out why this ship survived when all others failed. The next prompt is Rune of the Sky. Read a book featuring ghosts or a haunted house or other supernatural elements. For this, I'm going to be reading The King of Crows by Libba Bray. This is the fourth and final book in the Diviners series. I think that's what it's called. And based on my readings for the first 3 books, there is definitely some spooky stuff going on in this series, and I can't imagine it's going to change for the final book. So I definitely think it's perfect for this prompt. The next prompt is Obsidian Falls. Read a thriller or mystery book, and for this I'm going to be reading A Quiet Life in the Country by T.E. Kinsey. All I really know about this is that it is a cozy mystery book, so it definitely fulfills the prompt for mystery. My mom really loved it and has been wanting me to read it ever since she tore through the series, and my mom does not love cozy mysteries as much as I do, so she really enjoyed it. Odds are I'll enjoy it more, so I'm really looking forward to checking this series out. The next prompt is The Tower of Rumination. Read a 5-star prediction, and for this I'm going to be reading Amelia Fing and the Rainbow Rangers by Laura Ellen Anderson. All 3 books that I've read in this series have been 5 stars, so I suspect this one is also going to be 5 stars. In this series, we're following Amelia Fing, who's a vampire, and we get to see what kind of adventures she gets up to with her friends and her pet pumpkin Squashy. It is an absolutely adorable middle grade series. I love this series, and I am really glad that I was given a reason to pick this book up this month. And lastly is the prompt for Aurelium Academy arc, and that's to read a book with a school setting. And for this, I'm going to be reading Miss Ellicott's School for the Magically Minded. In this book, we're following Chantel, who is going to Miss Ellicott's school, and there's going to be a bunch of magic, and I think Miss Ellicott disappears, and Chantel has to figure out where she's gone and what to do with the magic she has. So it obviously features a school setting, as it seems like Miss Ellicott's school is going to be a major part of this book, and I'm looking forward to checking it out. So these are some of the books I'm going to be reading for the Magical Readathon. Are you taking part? If so, feel free to chat to me about it in the comment section below. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me a moon emoji, like this video, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!